You are not really insecure. In fact, you just happen to think wrong about certain things. And if you can get these key insights right you get in this video, you're completely off to the races from feeling invisible to being unstoppable. And later in this video, I will share a simple trick that will change your life. But first, you will see in this video why you are not really insecure, what self-doubts really are and how you can stop them, and what silent hack you can use to think better and feel confident. But first, we have to understand this. What actually is insecurity, and why do we get it in the first place? Talking about insecurities often makes me think of the story about the silent girl under the tree. When all the other kids were playing outside, the girl sat far away from them in the shadow of the tree. And all the time when some kids tried to talk to her, she always turned away back to her silent spot under the tree. On one sunny day though, one of the kids heard some sobbing that came from the shadows under the tree and went over. "What's up, girl?" the kid asked with a concerning voice. She looked up with red and swollen eyes, and with a shaking voice, she answered, "I don't really have friends, and I wish I could just run around and have fun and play like you all." And the kid blinked in surprise. "But we thought you hate us because you are always sitting far away from us in the shadows and you never talk to us." "I only sit here because in the shadows, when I sit far away from you, you don't see how flawed I am. And I don't speak because you are all so funny, and I don't want you to think that I'm stupid." Insecurity can turn easily into a self-fulfilling prophecy. We want to adapt and appease and certainly don't want to make other people think bad of us. We want to show that we deeply care about other people's feelings and that we don't want to hurt them. So we hold ourselves back and try to make it comfortable for others. And this somehow does not lead to the outcome we wanted to achieve. The outcome that people like us and that we easily belong somewhere. The opposite is often true. People often find us weird and they think that we are better than them. You see, being insecure means that you are not safe. It means that you are in danger. Being insecure around people shows when you think you're not good enough at all, and especially not in that moment. But why is that? It's not like someone would just give us a knuckle sandwich just because we want some water, right? "Hey, can I get you something?" "Yes, can I have some water, please?" "You're causing an inconvenience." "Yes, sorry." Your body does not know that it's safe for you to state your opinion or to express your needs. It feels basically like you are chased by a saber-toothed tiger and that you need to be aware of every single step you make. I had a call about exactly this with a client last week, and we found out that he grew up in a household where one of his parents was basically unpredictable. So all the time when his father sat in the living room with his newspaper, he never knew how his father's mood would be. He could be calm and joyful as yesterday or angry and violent as the day before. So the best strategy my client came up with in his childhood years that also ensured his survival was to put his needs back. His strategy was to always appease his father and to make sure that his father always had his coffee or his beer or his newspapers, and that my client himself was always silent, always clean, always finished his homework, always was at home in time, basically never caused any trouble in school or at home. But this strategy was his survival mechanism, and after 30 years he still had it when it came to setting boundaries at work or in his private life, when it came to showing himself and being proud of his achievements, or when he was trying to meet women. He was more likely to step aside for others, undermine his work, and always think that he's not good enough to talk to the women he liked. That is insecurity as a survival mechanism. He learned at a young age that his needs don't matter, and he needs to make sure that he does not disturb others by just being around. So his body always assumes that there's a saber-toothed tiger in the bush somewhere, and when he makes himself noticed, the tiger will attack and hurt him. And this tiger can just be a situation with his father when he was a child, or some bullying in school, or some incident that led to the belief that he was stupid, boring, clumsy, ugly, or overall not good enough. But none of this is his fault. Period. So let's look now what easy steps you can use today to make sure you go from insecure and invisible to confident and unstoppable. In a moment I'll reveal a common trap most of us fall into, which amplifies our insecurities. But before that, you need to get some pen and paper. You've ever been to a party or in a social setting where you've been a bit awkward? Even though you had a great party and a great time, you cannot shake off that little moment of awkwardness. This is the so-called negativity bias. We focus more on the negative than on the positive, because that is how we survived in the past. Our ancestors that were joyful and happy people that danced around in front of the cave, they did not survive because they were attacked by the saber-toothed tiger and did not have any chance to put their genes in the gene pool. Instead, the ones that stayed in the cave and saw danger at every corner, they propagated. If negativity bias were a person, it would hear a stadium full of cheering fans but fixate and crumble over a single boo in the crowd. Now you might be thinking,
that's just how I am, that's how I always was.
But what if there was a switch you can flip to see the positive? from now on. The thing is that we do not live in these cave days anymore, and there are not many dangers anymore around us. To get out of the negativity, I tell my clients who have troubles with self-doubt to write down 3 specific things each day. Before bed, write down 3 things you did great today. Ask yourself, what was good? What was funny? What was easy? There can be smaller things or larger things, doesn't matter. What is impossible that you do not find 3 things you did great today. The goal is to get in the positivity habit and to think about things you do in a better way. And after just a couple of days, these clients always report back that they always feel more confident, always feel lighter than before. This makes you start the day with a positive mood and will kickstart your positivity bias. And if you use this journaling technique with a silent tag you will get in a moment, it will make you truly confident and unstoppable. To understand this silent tag though, we have to check what creates insecurity and self-doubts in you and what you can do to conquer it before it arises. And by the way, this channel is about helping people to overcome their insecurities, self-doubts and helplessness, and to become the most confident and empowered superhero that is already in you. And if you like that, then hit the like and subscribe button so I can help you become that superhero you that is already inside of you. Here's a fun fact about mirrors. They reflect what you project onto them. The image in the mirror does what you do. Duh, you might think now, but look at the simplicity of that. You do it first. The mirror reflects it. If we are trapped in insecurities and self-doubts, we project this on our world, and the world reflects it to us. We see that the world is an insecure place for us, and we do not question it. If we looked into the mirror and see the image making a different expression than we do, we would freak out. So why do we think we need to be assertive first, before we can speak up? Why do we think we need to feel good in our skin before we can make compliments? Why do we think we need to be bold before we can set boundaries? That is the wrong order. This is waiting for the mirror image to tell us what to do. The big idea behind this is abundance versus scarcity. In our insecurity and survival mode, we act out of scarcity. Scarcity is feeling that there's not enough pizza for everyone. And if we take a huge slice, then others will get angry with us and we are in danger. And in this way, resources are limited. Scarcity shows in having lack of love, lack of money, lack of friendships, and lack of having peace in life. A scarce mind thinks it will be generous when it has money. It will give compliments, attention, and love when it gets attention and admiration before. It will be fair and unjudgmental when others are fair and unjudgmental first. You might see the flaw in that logic when everyone thinks like that. And you might feel the consequences of thinking like that already. Seeing unfairness and judgmental people all around you will increase your insecurity because they can judge you at any time. This is like waiting for the image in the mirror to change before we do. And it's like taking a smaller slice because you think with that you can appease the others and they will not be angry with you. Abundance, however, is your natural state. It means that we change the mirror image. By the way, this is not a mirror, this is a frame timer durable, but why I have a frame timer durable, this is a whole different story. Abundance is seeing that money, love, attention, friendships, opportunities come naturally to you when you give that out first, wholeheartedly. Do me a favor and remember the time you gave that special someone that very special present. And remember how much time and thoughts you put into that present. And now remember how happy you made that person because you put so much effort and soul and heart into that present. That is abundance. Acting abundantly makes the other person happy and yourself. Acting out of scarcity, on the other hand, makes no one happy. Instead, it amplifies greed, mistrust, envy, jealousy, and all the bad things that makes everyone live in fear a bit more. To kill insecurities and self-doubts, act first before you wait for the mirror image to change. If you want to have more confidence, then give 5 honest compliments to strangers every day. If you want to have more money, then donate some. Give some for a good cause or give someone on the streets a handful of it. Or tip generously even if the service is included. You want to find the perfect partner? Then start celebrating the couples you see around you. But a word of warning. Here's the worst thing that will happen if you do that. When you do that, you will feel like that time when you gave that special someone that special present. And now that we know how to think in abundance, let's look into that silent hack that you can use to kill self-doubts and insecurities. Remember the survival mode, and when you take too much pizza it will not be enough for others and they get angry with you? In this case, the pizza is the space you take. When you are insecure, you will do these 3 things that everyone will notice around you, consciously or subconsciously. Your breath is shallow, you have your eyes wide open and look around you all the time, and you don't take up much space. Because you don't feel safe, and this behavior is the same as of a deer that heard a crack somewhere in the woods. It's always ready to run away from the danger. Sadly, you rationally know that there is no real danger around you. So you force yourself to stay in that situation, and in result, because you send yourself mixed signals, you get more and more stressed. So much that you cannot concentrate anymore on what's being said, or you cannot connect to people anymore. And sadly again, they will not think that you are nervous or insecure, because you show exactly the same behavior as someone who's not interested in others and who thinks he's better than others. And that sucks, because all you want is just to connect with them. But we can hack that situation when we think about the mirror. When you are scared, you make yourself smaller so a predator would not see you. That means if we present ourselves small, then we're gonna be insecure. Instead, you want to act as you are double that wide as you already are. And with that, move slowly. This projects a calm you onto the mirror, and it will reflect a calm and safe environment. In a moment, I'll introduce you to a simple yet powerful technique, and it might be the missing piece in your confidence puzzle. But first, let's understand the root why this technique will work, and make you feel fully safe and secure, and therefore step into the most confident and unstoppable self. And to achieve that, you have to focus on your out-breath.
Why the out-breath?
Glad you asked. Because the in-breath comes naturally, but we tend to underemphasize the out-breath. When we breathe in, just a bit out, and then in again is what we do when we are stressed, when we are running away from danger. Our breath becomes shallow. This resembles our survival mode, when our body needs the oxygen to run away from the danger. Sprinters use this breathing technique before their 100-meter sprints, but long-distance runners use the marathon technique. They know that they need to be calm to run a long distance, so they breathe deeply out and then deeply in again, deep into their bellies. This calms your nervous system and tells you that there's no danger around you. There's also an even greater technique you can use to become a fully confident and empowered self. It is leveraging the right habits in your life. There are 7 really weird and unusual habits I found that kill any insecurity, fear, or low self-esteem in you. And they give you the feeling of really being yourself without pretending to be someone else. And you can find these 7 weird habits right here.